everyone, I'm Justin Bell. I'm the Global CEO here at Credera, and I am today sitting down with Nicoria Johnson, our Chief Diversity Officer here, to talk a little bit about Credera's journey around DE&I, and specifically her recent appointment as our Chief Diversity Officer. So welcome, Nickoria.
Thank you very much, JB. Happy to be here.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Why don't we start with you? Tell everyone a little bit about yourself. Give us your background.
So yeah, I grew up as a girl in STEM way before it was called STEM. I had an internship as a young girl in high school that turned into me creating a passion for technology. So technology has always been at the forefront for me. I went to Howard University, and that's where I was lucky enough to be a part of their engineering program. Quickly decided I was a people person and ended up wrapping that with some other skills. But for me, technology is my passion. Also my passion is people. Mm-hmm. So on my technology journey, I've had a chance to lead several different teams across many different companies. And really what my main goal was there is to make sure I could show up as the best leader possible so that my teams could feel equipped and supported. And so technology is my passion, people are my passion, and that's why I'm very excited to serve in this role.
That's great. I had a chance to work with you for a number of years, even before you came to Credera a few years ago.
Many years.
As a client, and you were a great client and great leader on that side, and been a great leader here at Credera, and we're certainly glad to have you in this new role. Let's shift gears to that. Let's talk a little bit about DE&I, your own journey with that, and specifically why it's such a passion area for you.
Sure. So as I mentioned, STEM, Black woman in technology. There weren't many of my faces around when I looked around. I went through my own personal journey of trying to just fit in as best I could to finally feeling comfortable in my own skin, even recently. I think that for me, DE&I and the things that we do to encourage DE&I, they're a heart issue, right? You like to believe that everyone is for you and not against you, but sometimes in being the only in the room, it's hard to know whether people really are supporting you or not. Also went through several iterations of struggling to find my own voice. I would have a seat at the table, but sometimes I didn't have enough encouragement to be heard. Yeah. So fortunately, I had some really good advocates and sponsors. And for me, I want to create an environment where our next generations feel free to be themselves. They aren't burdened with worrying whether they'll fit in. The uniqueness that everyone's bringing to the table is very important, and that's what we're here to celebrate.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, really for me, I'd say, different journey certainly, but in terms of like how it became an interest of mine, I'd say about 5 or 6 years ago, I brought the diversity and inclusion, is what we were calling it at the time, initiative to Credera, and really first just introducing it to our partner team, our executive team, around the importance that we begin to diversify our talent base and that we become a more inclusive environment overall, so that we can do that both for the because it's the right thing to do, but also because it does help the business outcomes. We have better discussions, we make better decisions, proven companies innovate more, and you get actually better business results on the other side of that as well. And so both sides of that were important to me, the heart side and the actual outcome side of what we were doing. It's been a great journey, a hard journey over the last 4 or 5 years of doing that. But we've made a lot of progress, and then this spring we made, as we were kind of updating what's next for us around DE&I, made the decision to actually appoint a chief diversity officer. And at first, honestly, didn't know that was something we needed to do, because we had executive sponsorship and myself. Yep. We had at least a strategy. We didn't have all the right strategy, but we had a strategy, but came to realize that we really would benefit. And I've already seen that even in just the last 8 weeks or so since we first talked about that it makes a real impact in a hurry. And I know we've got bright future ahead as we go forward. Yeah. Speaking of what's ahead, why don't you share a bit about what's your vision for DE&I here at Credera? What would look different a year from now, 3 years from now?
Yeah, so again, as you mentioned, a lot of the foundational elements are already there here at Credera, right? Our core values, first of all, mirror the things that you want to see in DE&I. So you want to see grit, you want to see tenacity, you want to definitely see people be putting first. Yeah. And so I feel like we have a really great foundation, and the buzz and momentum and excitement that about this journey we've been on since since George Floyd's murder, right? Mm-hmm. It's been accelerated, and I think all companies are seeing that same sort of ramp up in terms of the activities, the passion, and the voices wanting to be heard. So what I'm most excited about doing here at Credera is really listening to the voices of the folks we're trying to represent. I want everyone from the consultant all the way up through the partner level to feel like they're heard, they have a place, they belong. I guess that's the first part of the journey. The next part of the journey for me is being able to take what we're learning and turn that around to our clients, right? There are a lot of clients out there looking to do what we're trying to do now, and maybe even some that haven't even started their journey. So being able to take what we already do great with strategic service offerings, take our learnings from DE&I, be humble enough to say, we didn't know, so we want to showcase and help you on your journey. I think that's very important. And so in a few years, I'm really hopeful that we'll have representation at all levels. As most companies struggle, we're looking for leadership to look like our populations. And we also want to make sure that we've done a lot of self-reflection, right? I measure success by if everyone here understands how they uniquely can contribute to the DE&I journey, if everyone here's heart is open and that we're sitting across table from people and valuing them at all levels from all aspects of what they're bringing to the table, I will call it a success.
That's great. No, love that, and really do look forward to partnering with you as we continue to take our next steps on that journey.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Absolutely. That's it for today. More updates to come from us on this topic, but thank you very much.